Joining us now, Senator Jill Vogel from Fauquier County in the Valley in Virginia. She is one of three candidates running for lieutenant governor, along with Senator Bryce Reeves from Stafford and House of Delegates member Glenn Davis from the Virginia Beach area. The election to nominate a Republican Virginia lieutenant governor candidate will be on June 13th. That's going to be in a primary. And majority does not win, plurality does. So all you have to do is come in first, and you're going to be the nominee. And we have Jill Vogel right now as the favorite in that race. Hey, Senator, good to have you with us.
Good morning. Good morning. I love hearing that front runner. Thank you. It's always awesome to be on the show. We just need everybody to turn out on June 13th. I think right now we are crushing it. If people just want a positive candidate who's running on issues, we're the ones. We're out there talking about the things that I think that's the big contrast. Honestly, hearkening back to what you were talking about a minute ago about some of my colleagues in this race, we are the campaign that's 100% positive, talking about the issues that voters really care about. It's insulting to voters to be negative and to try to divert attention to anything else other than what's really happening in Virginia, and that's people's jobs and the economy and the tax climate and the regulatory environment that's crushing people. And, you know, I'm the only candidate that signed the no tax pledge like 10 years ago, and I've never broken that pledge. And I've got an awesome plan for regulatory reform and tax reform. I'm the only candidate that's A+ rated by the NRA, and I've been out there fighting for people's constitutional freedom. That's what people care about, and that's why we're crushing it, and we're the front runner. And people who've tried every other political stunt and only want to talk about the negative, they've killed themselves. Their campaigns are toast. And so there's a moral to that story, and that is, you know, be dignified. Run a campaign that is worthy of real Virginians' support and what intelligent people want to talk about. And I've been really grateful for their support, and we've had the endorsement this past week of Senator Mark Ovenchain, who, you know, is a leader in our party. And,
yes,
you know, has been a fighter for all the issues that, you know, real Virginians care about, in our party in particular. And, you know, I'm just thrilled with the support we've had, and I'm thrilled to be the front runner right now. And we just got to finish strong.
Well, listen, you are the front runner right now. You're winning every straw poll out there. We've got you as not a prohibitive favorite, but definitely the favorite going in. And, you know, the TV ads haven't even started. We know you're going to go big on there. I know you don't want to divulge what your strategy is, but just looking at your money situation, I'd be shocked if I didn't see $800-900 million getting dropped in TV from your campaign in the final 2 or 3 weeks. And nobody's going to be able to match that. That's going to make a difference. So, look, Senator, I want to get to, I'm sorry I have to cover this. I really am, but I have to cover it because other media outlets are covering. So I mean, it's painful, but I have to do it. So it is what it is. I got to do my job. So last week, and I've talked to a number of attorneys about this. I'll give you their feedback a little bit later. But we have no lawsuit on this email situation from Senator Reeves. No lawsuit that I can find filed anywhere, right?
And here's the thing, right? There's been no lawsuit. This is a political stunt that happened months and months and months and months ago. And this is a candidate that's run a campaign on this and literally spent an entire campaign going to the media and begging them to publish an email about himself that is so negative about himself that I didn't have anything to do with, and nobody on my campaign or in my family had anything to do with. And it seems it's utterly preposterous. Why wouldn't you be out there talking about issues, talking about things in the lieutenant governor's race, talking about good things about yourself? And, you know, he wants to attach this to me because he thinks that this is somehow going to knock me out or, you know, attach something negative to me. And in addition to that, you know, spent like $100,000 on, you know, attacking me and an anonymous website against me and all this other stuff. You know what? People don't like that. And it seems very strange. And then to, you know, talk about I'm going to file a lawsuit, It's an entire campaign about I'm going to file a lawsuit. Well, you know what? There's been no lawsuit filed. And I wasn't home. My husband wasn't home. None of this stuff is not real. And people know it's not real. And that's why we're winning. That's why we are absolutely crushing it in this race. And again, it gets back to the fact that People want to talk about something positive. They want solutions. North Carolina is spanking us. Kentucky is beating us on things like industrial hemp that I was fighting for this session. We've got issues of agriculture. Southwest Virginia is, struggling. We've got real important issues to talk about. People want to talk about, people are sick and dying and they want they want access to medical marijuana. I talk people bring that up all the time. Those are the things that, this candidate doesn't want to talk about. I'm desperate to actually solve some problems for real people in Virginia. And we have independents and Democrats who are super excited about our campaign. We've got Republicans that are going to turn out in huge numbers to support us in this primary. Women have never been more excited to have a Republican woman to support. We've spent the whole weekend at the VFRW, the Virginia Federation of Republican Women's Convention. We're getting all these endorsements. It's been an amazing campaign. And to spend time talking about, a lawsuit that has never been filed and, how you're going to abuse the court system to get people to write letters all day long to try to get the media to cover it in hopes of, it's like, this is desperation.
Well, I was,
and it's sad.
I was surprised, to be honest, that my good friend Patrick Wilson did another story on it with the Richmond Times-Dispatch. I know Patrick well. He's a really...
They fought for it every
well,
time.
they did. I mean, but the thing is, Laura Vizella, she's done with it. You see no stories from her. I have to cover it, though. As long as one person covers it, you have to cover it. But I've already got duped on this thing once. I'm not going to get duped a second time.
Here's the thing, John. Every time, a lawyer sends a letter, it gets shopped around. Please write about this. Please write about this. Well,
it gets shopped around.
The Democrats would love to knock out the front runner. I'm a really strong candidate this November, an amazingly strong candidate, because I've worked across the aisle on hundreds of issues that matter, not just to Republicans, but to Democrats too. And I have the ability to go out and I think really clean up this November. I really do. I think we have a strategy and a campaign that appeals to all Virginians, not just to Republicans, but to everybody. And the Democrats would love to knock some of the shine off of our campaign. And so any chance that the media's got to write something negative that, they can push out there, why wouldn't they? So, what?
Yeah, but
if they can write a story, they'll write another story.
Look, and so that my audience knows, the last story that the Reeves campaign shopped to media on this, which the only person that would touch it was Patrick Wilson, and that was his decision. I respect him. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. But basically, Reeves's lawyer now wants to depose Senator Vogel and her husband, Alex Vogel. They want to depose them, like have a deposition, but there's no lawsuit. So, like, every lawyer that I talked to was like, it's like the stupidest thing I ever heard. You can't get a deposition from somebody.
Right, exactly. That's like you saying, you know what? I feel like I'm not going to file a lawsuit against you, but this is a stunt because I'm in an election and I want to draw negative attention. I'm going to, go out there and send letters and try to get people to write stories about it. And, without actually following the law and the process and the rules of civil procedure, I'm going to send letters around and make allegations and try to get you to show up to depose you. It's absurd.
It's absurd.
This is, if anybody has a question about what campaign should be about and fitness to lead and integrity and what this lieutenant governor's race is about, again, I get back to the point is we want to be talking about issues.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we are crushing it in this campaign, because we have not spent 1 minute dignifying anything other than, what this election is about. It's about tax reform. It's about regulatory reform. It's about the bills that we put in this legislative session. It's about that we were endorsed in this campaign for lieutenant governor by the VCDL PAC. We're the only one that's A+ rated. We're the only one that's out there that is actually doing something. And if you want to know what somebody's going to do, look at how they spend their time. Look at what their campaign is talking about. And that is why we are the front runner and why we're crushing it in this race. Look at the contrast in terms of what these campaigns are talking about. And there you have it. There is the proof. And so, you know what? I have enjoyed my time on the campaign trail with my colleagues. I have enjoyed my time with Senator Reeves, and I've enjoyed my time with my colleague, Davis. We've had a great time going around the state. And, this side effort has been nothing but one-off. And I haven't spent any time dignifying or engaging on it. It's an effort to obviously, divert people's attention. But what a what a waste.
The latest
and it's taken somebody who is, a real campaign and put him in, arguably third place, and it's a shame. But the bottom line is, we're going to win, and we're going to win because you know what? One of the biggest bills that passed this session was my bill on regulatory reform. It's the regulatory environment that people want to talk about that's killing jobs in Virginia and making, more people leave than stay in the Commonwealth of Virginia for the first time in history. When I go around the state, that's what people want to talk about. Nobody wants to engage in negative discussions about anything negative, period. And I've had two campaigns, for some period of time who are like, want to take shots, and I haven't said one unkind thing about either of my colleagues in this race. They're both fine people. They make decisions about how they want to run their campaign. I make a decision about how I want to run mine. I want to be an example to voters, and frankly, to my own kids. I'm a mom. I've got little children. I need and want to be an example to anybody who wants to run a campaign about what a good campaign is about.
Look, Senator, this latest ploy here, stunt, if you will, by Reeves, demanding that you be deposed along with your husband when there's no lawsuit. I mean, I don't know where Reeves is going with this campaign, and I know that you've got your own issues trying to get your message out, but
well, you know what?
I really don't know where the hell he's going with this.
Most people, well, here's the thing, John. There's a whole bunch of Republicans around the Commonwealth of Virginia who don't even know we've got a primary on June 13th.
Right.
My big challenge is to go out there and tell people, one, we've got one of the most important elections coming up in November that we've ever had. We have not won a statewide election since 2009.
Right.
Republicans in Virginia have an extraordinary opportunity to take back Virginia. And I think my campaign has an extraordinary opportunity to be, transformative in Virginia, to actually help bring transformative leadership back to Virginia. A candidate and a campaign that can actually, at the end of this process, have run a campaign that needs something, to bring women back into our party and minorities back into our party, and makes people feel great about the Republican Party in Virginia, that runs a positive campaign, that reaches way across into places where we haven't been before. That's what we're focusing on. And so, again, the negative, who cares? It's sad. You're talking about all these ploys and stunts and, litigation and all that. It's just crazy. People hate that. It's the last thing anybody wants to talk about. This is a campaign that was going to sue the State Board of Elections because of where they were going to be ranked on the ballot. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. It just goes back to leadership, fitness to lead. Let's talk about the positive. And I've spent so much time going all over Northern Virginia and talking to Indian Americans and talking to the Hispanic community and to African Americans. We have the solutions that real people want and need. And our party hasn't been in minority communities the way we should be. And when you talk to people about the solutions that we have to offer and what they mean to families and to women.
Well, you're right.
And if you care about the economy and you care about education and competition and free markets and real access to higher education and getting costs down so that we actually have opportunities in Virginia, our party has those solutions, not the other party. And the other party has co-opted our message of liberty and freedom and getting government out of your life. They come on our message, and they're running on that. And that is totally hypocrisy. And,
well, look, you guys,
I'm telling you, if we have good candidates who have a great message, who are positive, and who run campaigns that are built on integrity and outreach that is kind and inclusive, we'll win in November.
Well, you got to win.
That are shrill and rude and don't talk about issues. And so I'm really excited. I'm telling you, that's why we're going to clean up.
Republicans have lost 8 statewide races in a row in Virginia. Somebody's got to win a race someplace, and hopefully this will be it. So here are the odds I'm going to release today right now. This is the odds. Somebody asked me, what are the odds on the Virginia Lieutenant Governor's nomination? Jill Vogel is even money. She's 1-1. Glenn Davis is 5-2. I've got Reeves at 7-1. Right now is going to finish last. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network. I want to thank Senator Jill Vogel for being with us. Senator, what's your website? People want more info.
Yes. Please support our campaign. Turn out June 13th. It's vogelforvirginia.com. VOGELFOR Virginia.com. We'd love to have your support. Sign up as a volunteer. We are so grateful for everyone who's helping us. Truly appreciative, and I love being on your show, John. Thank you so much for having me.
Jill Vogel, thanks for being here. I've got Jill as the favorite, even money. Glenn Davis, 5-2. and I've got Reeves at 7-1. That campaign about to fade off into the sunset. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network. Stay with us.